Hey guys, welcome back to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. My name is Ronnie, and today we're going to be talking about these leaks that just leaked out recently from a reliable source known as Daniel Richtman. I've actually talked about this gentleman here. He seems to be in the know-how when it comes to these kinds of movies, and he has definitely like a lot of insight when it comes to these kinds of movies. So definitely check it out. Check out this article when you get a chance. I'll post a link to this article. And this article basically talks about Dafoe being in No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, and apparently it's more than just a cameo. Again, I'm going to go back to the question like I always ask when I talk about Spider-Man No Way Home and its leaks, is that what even is this movie? Like, this movie sounds like it's all over the place. Obviously, I am cautiously optimistic, but I'm just wondering, who's the main villain? Is it going to take away from the plot, which is Spider-Man trying to restore his good name? You know, what is going on? Obviously, and surely this movie is going to be the longest Spider-Man movie ever made, and apparently the battle, the final bout at the very end of this film is set to rival that of Avengers Endgame, perhaps even better than that. And that's quite a bold statement coming from Tom Holland. Hopefully he's not trolling us, but so far he's kept really mum about it, and I'm very impressed. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this article and just break it down. But before I get into that, I want you guys to go ahead and click on like, comment, and subscribe, of course, when you get a chance. Definitely helps out the channel a lot. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, it really helps the channel a lot, trying to reach 1,600 subs. Really, long-term goal is actually 2,000 subs, but for now, 1,600. Of course, you can follow me on Discord as well. Join my Discord. The invitation link to that is down in the description box below. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get to the article. So Dafoe in No Way Home, more than a cameo, says the insider Barside Buzz. And this article was only posted a few hours ago, so I was at work and I couldn't really talk about it until now. So unless you've been deep undercover, you are probably aware of a ton of rumors about Willem Dafoe in No Way Home, and it seems about almost certain that now that Dafoe will return as Norman Osborn within Spider-Man No Way Home. Personally, for me, I think that it's possible. I think the guy is like really optimistic about these kinds of roles. The guy was amazing as the Green Goblin Norman Osborn. So I'm sorry to going off on a tangent here, but I just wanted to just put that out there. And also, one more thing before I continue with the article, it seems that more than likely that this is a possibility, that this is actually going to really happen, because as it is, Alfred Molina himself and Jamie Foxx himself confirmed that they're both in the film. So at this point, anything is possible, and it looks like we're going to get a flood of villains in this movie. Hopefully, we don't get like, you know, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 or like Batman and Robin or something like that, where a bunch of villains just come out of nowhere and the movie is just all over the place. Moving on. So it played by Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx. There will be some debate about amongst various insiders as to how big Dafoe's role is. Some have said it will be a cameo type quick appearance only, and others that Dafoe is in the movie's chief antagonist. I would definitely love me some Green Goblin antagonists in this Spider-Man movie. I really want him to return. It's been a long time since we even had the Green Goblin appear last time. Although if you want to count The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which came out in 2014, I don't really count that as the Green Goblin. That shit was rushed. It was horrible. Now, inside Daniel Richtman has thrown his hat in the ring once again to say that Dafoe is in No Way Home, and it's just more than a cameo. So you definitely got to check it out here. Now, this was a tweet posted by the Den of Nerds talking about like that famous Willem Dafoe Green Goblin Norman Osborn meme. I'm something of a Spider-Man 3 cameo myself. Really funny stuff, and it's more than just a cameo. I actually went to that tweet and decided to respond. You know, in the related section below, you will see a similar response from viewer Annan, who said that they heard Dafoe was the main villain. There's also a No Way Home plot summary doing the rounds online, which appears to be close to what genuine insiders have heard. And I won't detail out the summary in that case, and is only on the nose and spoils the movie. However, it would be fair to say that this is supposedly the plot leak that had Dafoe as the main villain in it. So I'm in two minds slightly. I always felt like using Osborn's turn to Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie was a wrong call. I think Raimi should have kept that for the third movie and had the Harry Peter Norman relationship develop a little bit more. So saying that, I thought Willem Dafoe was an excellent Osborn and Green Goblin. So this is coming from the article. That's not my opinion, but I see where this person is coming from who wrote this. So however, I did not like the design of the Gauntlet suit. I'm agreeing with you right there. That suit looked like trash. It looked like something you could buy at Party City and just stitch it together. It looks like a goddamn villain from like the Power Rangers. And so I hope that Marvel Studios uses the classic mask for his return. So definitely, if they're going to use that, they should definitely do some of those throwaway concept costumes that they used for the original Raimi films. I don't know why they decided to ditch that, but it was really amazing stuff. I also hope that this is not the last time we see Norman Osborn. If Sony allows it, having Dafoe enter the MCU as Peter's version of the character will be so much more fun, especially if that character hasn't quite gone mad yet. So yes, definitely have Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn develop a little bit of character, kind of like how we saw in Spider-Man PS4, where Willem Dafoe, or I'm sorry if I'm calling him Willem Dafoe. I'm sorry because I'm so used to it because he's played by Willem Dafoe. Where Norman Osborn is in the back end, he's kind of like a suspicious, sketchy kind of guy, but he's still doing some good in the public. Yeah, definitely have him progress throughout a few movies. Don't have him become the Green Goblin then and there, or else it'll just feel rushed, kind of like how it was in Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, Peter, having already met an alternative version of Osborn, who was a true villain, would be super cautious around the version from his own universe, despite not having any evidence of wrongdoing. That's pretty cool premise to build up on an eventual Dark Adventures of Green Goblin storyline within the MCU Prime, especially if Peter's suspicions are part of what drives Osborn down a dark path. I really want Marvel to keep their villains. I am so sick and tired of villains dying at the end of Marvel films. That's something that's always grinding my gears when watching like previous Marvel films, so like throughout the years. Why do the villains die so fast? They have so many stories. They change along the in the comics. They become other, basically they develop other aliases, like Norman Osborn, for example. He became the Iron Patriot, which was one of the inspirations behind Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3, excuse me, where Rhodey got the Iron Patriot look, basically his skin on his War Machine armor. So have Willem Dafoe, or in this case Norman Osborn, be the Green Goblin, then have him become reformed, then he becomes the Iron Patriot. I had this idea where he can do time, maybe perhaps reduce the sentence and become a superhero with agendas of his own, and he can just do good as the Iron Patriot while still having a dark agenda, meaning doing time with the Dark Avengers, trying to achieve his own agendas kind of thing. That was I had an idea going on like that in my head, where Marvel Studios should take on that idea. Do not kill the Green Goblin. We all know what happens to him, of course, but save that for later if he decides to come back as the Green Goblin. And then the battle between Spider-Man and I guess, the Green Goblin with Gwen Stacy on the bridge, have him die in that moment, But aside from that, it was just an idea that I had going on in my head recently. And I'm like, you know what? Marvel Studios has a lot to play with. They have a lot of leg room to work with here. So what do you think about Dafoe in No Way Home? Do you think it'll be a minor role akin to what we think Molina has? Or will he be the main villain as some insiders are claiming? So you leave your thoughts down below as always. Well, I gotta say, him being the main antagonist for the movie is pretty interesting. I mean, Green Goblin in the comics has had connections to Peter Parker. There has been times, there was a time in the comics, at least multiple times, where Green Goblin has used Peter Parker's identity, or Spider-Man's secret identity, against him, just to hurt the loved ones that Peter Parker loves. And I think it's an excellent choice as a main antagonist. A lot of people were speculating that Kraven the Hunter would be in it because he'd be the perfect villain to hunt down Spider-Man, since his identity is out there in the public and people know who he is. But Green Goblin's actually not a bad choice. I'm not saying that any of this is official. Remember, take everything what I'm talking about with a huge grain of salt as always. None of this is official. It's not coming from Marvel Studios, and it's definitely not coming from Sony. But this is something that I really wanted to talk about. It's definitely a topic that caught my interest, and it's Spider-Man. I always discuss Spider-Man in my channel, and you can call my channel a Spider-Man channel because that's the only videos, the kinds of videos that gets the most views, honestly. Definitely check up on my videos. I talk about Spider-Man frequently, and I also talk about other superhero topics as well. But apparently my channel is now a Spider-Man channel. So anyways, tangent aside, you let me know what are your thoughts. Do you think Green Goblin should be the main villain of Spider-Man No Way Home? And if not, who do you think should be the main villain of Spider-Man No Way Home? And do you think the amount of villains that we're getting in this film is a bit overwhelming or underwhelming? You comment on that as well. Post your thoughts and theories. I'd like to read them, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely helps the channel. And click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything, because I post videos on a daily and I do live streams twice a week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sundays and Tuesdays. And with all that being said, thank you once again, and I'll see you all in the next comic panel.